The Rap Roundtable.
Yes, sir. Another action-packed, highly anticipated episode of Monday Night Raw. It's the Rap Roundtable here. It's your guy Jarv alongside Ceci the Rap Snob, alongside Deanie the Bounce, alongside the greatest Drake fan in the world, OVO Mace in the building. Shout out to everybody who's already in the chat. I see a lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar names. G Jones, Cyrock, Jeremy Cole, Red Form in the building. I'm so focused in the building. Ted Hill in the building. BTG in the building. Shout out to everybody who's already pulling up. I'm seeing a lot of opinions, a lot of takes, a lot of energy. That's what we like on Mondays. We love the energy that y'all bring. Shout out to all the real humans. And again, let's be clear, there's other platforms that want the kumbaya shit. We invite the static. We invite the chaos. We invite the disagreement. As long as you keep it respectful, we could get into it. We could argue and yell and then have a drink right after. So make sure y'all lock in. Do all the necessary things. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe option. Swipe and hype, of course. Lock into all things Rap Roundtable. We are on deck. Not too much on the pleasantries tonight either, because you know what? My guys are good. We survived another snowstorm. Storm next weekend coming, spinning the block on us again. So, you know what I mean? I already know how y'all doing. Y'all was snowed in, as was I. So, let's get into this rap shit, man. So, Cecilia Rap Snob last week had what I called the MVP take of the year off the rip.
Mm-hmm. This guy?
Yeah,
right?
You
right there.
About J. Cole and his battle rap, or not necessarily battle rapper, but his I'm better than everyone aesthetic, the shadow boxing that he was doing, things of that nature, like ready to squabble with an imaginary foe, but when the actual foe was prepared to get a shaking, he left the ring. And Sincere had a beautiful breakdown of why, that's a problem. In the midst of us posting that, because we're trying to get more active on Instagram. In fact, before I continue, a lot of y'all, we love the YouTube. We love the Twitter interaction. A lot of y'all came over from Twitter as well. We need y'all to follow us on Instagram as well. Run our IG up. I'm at some point I'll put the link for the Instagram in the chat. But make sure, if y'all can right now, the Rap Roundtable, very simple on Instagram. Run our IG up. In 2026 now, I realize that we gotta get active on Instagram, and Sincere launched the TikTok. So it's gonna be a lot of contact. Follow us on TikTok as well. If you're on there, follow us on TikTok. We're gonna be taking care. We can't just be so selfish and only feed YouTube and Twitter. We gotta feed all the socials. So we're gonna get back to that super actively in 2026. So go follow us over there. But when we put that video up on Instagram, boy, the response. You had a lot of people who agreed, and there's a lot of people who disagreed. And within the disagreeing, there was a lot of J. Cole fans in the comment section making all kinds of excuses for what J. Cole did. And it's like they calling us old. And I want to just set the tone off the rip. If you call niggas old, right? We don't care. J. Cole is our age.
J. Cole is 40, y'all.
All right.
Didn't he just turn 41?
All right.
Up there.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to make it past 25.
That's right. He's 40. He's 40. I'm wild. He just turned 40.
Just turned 40. Shout out to the Black Snob who said it on Instagram. Happy to get past 25. You calling me old, bro, would never be an insult. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm black. When I go to work and I tell people how old I am, they still stunned. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm okay. And at the end of the day, being old enough to know what good rap is, know the difference between hip hop and rap, so on and so forth, calling niggas old gang, it don't mean anything. All right? But nevertheless, the excuses made and the qualifiers, and he did this because of this, and y'all just mad because his album is coming out and whatever else is going on, okay? I'm here to ask the Rap Roundtable. Are J. Cole fans soft? Sincere the Rap Snob. I come to you first. Since it was your take that got us to this point here. Are his fan base, or a certain segment of his fan base, a bunch of excuse-making softies?
So soft is a strong word, man. But listen, if the shoe fits, they might have to wear it. I'm not above calling them soft at this point, because the responses that we've been getting for something that I feel is just so straightforward. Like this is one of the most straightforward scenarios and situations for me in rap history, right? Battle is brewing. You're in the midst of it. You put yourself in the ring, put out a record, remove the record from all platforms 2 days later, 48 hours later, and then apologize and say it wasn't in your spirit. That's my friend. Yada yada yada. Kumbaya, and we all know the rest of it.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like this is such a straightforward scenario, right? We're not saying he's a whack rapper. We're not saying he doesn't make good songs or good music. You have never heard us say that. For years, we've been doing nothing but lauding J. Cole. That's what makes this so disappointing to us, because he was on the ascent to the point where we were honestly like, oh shit, he might take that top spot. It's within his reach. He just has to go out and get it and claim it. But the moment he tried to claim it, he got soft and he folded. And like the pressure just like completely crumbled him. And he was like, nah, I'm not, this isn't my way of doing things. I want to be friends with everybody. You know what? If somebody were to call him the LeBron of rap, I would see it, because that's how LeBron is too. He just wants to be friends with everybody. He doesn't have that Mamba mentality. He doesn't have that killer instinct. And the same thing with J. Cole, right? So despite all of the talent, the songwriting, the albums, the classic album, if you think, Forest Hill Drive is a classic, I'll give you, he maybe have one classic. Got some anthems, got some, immaculate guest verses. He's an all-timer. But when it comes down to it in crunch time, if you pass him the ball, 5 seconds left, 4, 3, 2, he's going to pass it. He's not going to take the shot. He's going to pass it off. He doesn't want that pressure. He doesn't want it on his shoulders. Absolutely not. He's soft. He's soft. And now I'm seeing all of these Cole fans come out and making all of these excuses for him. Guess what? That's why y'all love Cole, because y'all soft too.
Damn.
That's what it is.
Damn.
That's what it is. We all gravitate to artists that we love. You know what I mean? Like if you're on the hustle, getting money, cocky side of things, talking your shit, you love Jay. If you're on a more street philosopher, quiet, more poetic side, you're gonna love Nas. If you're into like, the societal ills, you want to, delve into how we can, work through all these layers that's regarding the ills of society. You're gonna love somebody like Kendrick. If you just want to party and you like getting girls, you might be into Drake. But if you just like Wonder Bread and vanilla ice cream and you kind of soft, then you're gonna be into Cole. So I'm calling it what it is. The Cole fans are soft just like he is. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Fuck out of here, man.
Wow.
You Wonder Bread and vanilla ice cream. Ooh wee. Necesito, tap in. Are J. Cole fans soft?
Sin, what a body. Listen, I applaud Sin for also not mentioning how he killed a Cole fan in one bar on Twitter the other day. You know what I mean? Like half a bar, really, word to
really,
take.
full
You know
words.
Y'all only get half a bar.
Man, I feel like whoever went after Vince Carter in the dunk contest right now, but we'll try. Listen, I'm gonna start off with respect. Since Sin was so disrespectful, let me start off with some respect, okay? I will say this. Cole fans, you are not as bad as Drake or Kendrick fans on how much you get me upset on the timeline. So just like J. Cole, you're in third place, clearly, right? So, so I'll say this. I'll say this, right?
You said, hold on. You said you're gonna start with respect. That's crazy.
Well, listen, I did. You know, technically, I did. You know what I mean? I gave him half a bar like you did in respect. But so you know, for me, you know, I don't even really like get into arguments with J. Cole fans online because, like Sin said, they really kind of vanilla with it. You know what I mean? They really, you know, you can tell they're huge, you know, Cole fans. They usually don't have much to say about other rappers that aren't in Dreamville. Not that they aren't knowledgeable. I'm not going to hit them with that card. But they usually are all Cole all the time, right? So I won't say they soft. They're super fans, kind of like Cole, right? So it's not. Listen, I've kind of felt bad for them because, you know, as a Drake fan, I know what it's like to defend fuckery online. You know what I mean? Sorry for the cussing, guys. I know what it's like to defend, you know, clear things that shouldn't be defended online. So, you know, sometimes I feel a little bit of camaraderie with Cole fans because I understand what it's like to defend the undefendable. But for me, I look at it like this. If I don't take the garbage out, you know what I'm saying? When I get home, I know my wife is going to be upset, bro. You know what I mean? If I pull up, you know, at 15 minutes late from work, I know they're going to have something to say. J. Cole, you're not going to get past this, bro. You're not going to get past what we got to say to you. You know, it's like Sin said in the tweet, right? Like all of the vitriol, all of the disrespect that you say for people like the Rap Roundtable, you should have saved that for Cole. That's really what the honest thing is. So for me, listen, are they soft? Yeah, they soft in the sense that they're trying to defend this, but you know, I don't think they're that bad, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? To me, they're just guys who, you know, with Dreamville tags, they come up every now and then. You know, I don't even pay attention to them. Like you know, I don't want to get disrespectful because we do pay attention to Cole, but I don't even really pay attention to these guys. Right? They're not as bad as Drake fans with the, you know, the charts online, with Kenny fans looking for the daughter. They're just some guys tweeting some bars we don't give a damn about, crying and upset in our comments and on our Twitter replies. But for me, they like J. Cole, man. It's like swatting a fly. You know what I'm saying? For me, they never get too crazy for me. They never get too crazy for me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I have much bigger fish to fry than J. Cole fans. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Oh, see, this is what's happening here, you know. And the thing is, of all the fan bases, like I've said this in the past, J. Cole fans are the most disrespectful of all the fan bases. All they want to do is try to come in. They come in leading with disrespect and name calling and stuff like that, to where it's just like, it's just a J. Cole fan upset again. Because they really can't talk no rap shit with you. So they gotta just throw lob insults and whatnot. We like even on Twitter right now, we got a quote tweet for the stream, and it's a J. Cole fan. His name is The Fall Off, and he says they want smoke so bad they're reviewing the fans instead of the music. You know what I mean? This is the thing. They love making all of these adjacent arguments when we already talked about the music 2-3 weeks ago. Now we gonna make fun of you fucking dorks. See, now I'm cursing, Mace. But anyway, we need a balance. Are J. Cole fans too soft?
Yes, they are. But I think this through disappointment, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, we haven't always been on a Cole bandwagon. You get what I'm saying? We discovered the lyrical ability and the appreciation for the music later. Like, if you were a day one, shout out to the home we used to work with, no name set. You know what I'm saying? If you were a day one, and this is like your quintessential introduction to the game, like
for a lot of J. Cole fans, it was.
You know what I'm saying? So you add that into it, it's you can't help but be disappointed. You know, it's kind of like you know how like you hear something about a nigga on the news, you hear his mom like, no, not my baby. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Like you're disappointed, even though you kind of know that's the way the game is going. I think they're crushed. I think they see their bro was ascending to the top. You know, like you said, we were having conversations. We had Cole on a number one a couple of times. Like he was really ascending to being that guy. In terms of like stardom with Drake, of course, we know Drake had to stardom, but when they were rapping, we knew who was the one with the bars. We knew Cole gonna be the one barring it up, Drake gonna be the one like putting the vibes on. You get what I'm saying? So he was the number one guy. Cole, I mean, Kenny was in the cut chilling, but he was the number one guy. So to see the number one guy, your favorite guy, rise the ranks, get to the spot everyone wants to get to, and then to bow out like that, bro. Like I think even though we had complaints, I think they're more disappointed than us. And I think somewhere in that space, that shit eats your soul. Because like our greats, I can't imagine Hov doing that in terms of like not going through the battle. In terms of this, like even Drake looks like the more lyrical assassin because at least he went through the war. You feel me? Like he actually fought the fight. Like your man threw a jab and decided, this jab isn't good for my spirit. Like I'm gonna rescind my jab. Like I'm gonna time stone my jab. This jab never happened. I'm pulling the jab back. You feel me? I just like I said, I've never seen anything like it in hip hop, bro. Especially knowing the kind. I don't know J. Cole personally, but I know the kind of nigga he is, bro. This shit gotta be in his soul because he's a rapper's rapper. You feel me? So I think it's disappointment, and I think it's basically when like you said, what
is it?
Yeah, it's disappointment and dread, bro. Like these people, they're in a sunken place right now. Like I don't know what I would do if one of my like favorites like just gave up the ghost like that. And like I said, gave up the ghost because you wanted your spirit clean. And I just don't feel if I felt like Kendrick was on that same type of time, I could at least give Cole that grace. Like, you know what? You ain't want that smoke because he didn't want that type of smoke. It seemed like he was ready for the smoke. You threw the jab, you rescinded the jab, and here we are, bro. Like soft, yes, disappointed, yes, acrimony, whatever these things is in, like the 12 stages, they're going through some shit I can't fathom as a rap fan. You know what I'm saying? If that's your favorite rapper, that's soft.
That's a great answer by Dini. He allowed some grace to the Cole fans. Salute to Dini, always being the balance. We might wild out, but Dini provides the balance. You know what I mean?
A little hope.
I guess on a human level, I would say there's one of two ways you could go about handling what J. Cole did. And we go to the sports idioms. I think about Kobe Bryant, 2006 against the Suns game 7. He didn't shoot the ball in the second half against the Suns. Some could say that was a J. Cole-esque moment. Did I go to work or talk to whoever I was talking to and say, you know what? I'm not cheering for the Lakers anymore because Kobe didn't shoot. Nah, I went and I said, nah, he was playing with Swish Parker. He was playing with T.A. Brown and a bunch and Chris Mim. It's not his fault. And that's kind of what the J. Cole fans are doing in the same situation. He was, but there's no Chris Mim or Swish Parker to blame. But they're basically saying, you know what? Yeah, Mike H said Kobe's trying to prove a point. I think J. Cole was also trying to prove a point, or that's the angle he was trying to push with the apology heard around the world. So if I'm a J. Cole fan, I can look at it one of two ways. I'm not gonna stop cheering for the guy, although he just embarrassed my fandom in front of everybody. But at the same time, I'm not gonna let them kick my guys back in. And I think that what we're seeing right now with J. Cole fans is they are doing everything in their power to defend their favorite because he spent near 2 years getting bombarded by people like us, specifically Sincere's Take. But the truth of the matter is, and why I think that they're soft, and it's not like, and just to be clear, like when I say soft, we're not saying they pussy and they won't defend themselves. I want to make sure that we understand the connotations of soft. What we're saying is that y'all are thin-skinned. Y'all are the softest fan base. Yes, like I said last week, I said that the Drake fans are more authentic, and I learned, we know what I learned last week, guys, that there's a lot of people who don't know the dictionary definition of authentic. They think authenticity is somehow connected to how they feel about the word and not what it actually means. But I digress. I'd rather argue with a Drake fan. I'd rather argue with a Kendrick fan. To me, because they're tougher. They'll fight back. I'm not talking about the Club Paradise wing of the Drake fandom. Those people are not rational. I saw a clip of a girl saying she been basically damn near losing her life defending a man she does not know. Those people I won't talk to. But there's a lot of Drakes that I know personally. Not a lot of Drakes, a lot of Maces that I know personally who I've had real debates with about Drake. Sincere, one of Sincere's good friends is a Drake fan. He's had knockdown, drag out debates. And they don't be on that bitch assness. The Kendrick fans don't be on that bitch assness. I don't think I'm willing to bet that if Kendrick Lamar would have bowed out the same way Cole did, the Kenny fans wouldn't be in nobody chat making them excuses. It's just a different point of view. Y'all can't smart.
I mean, we would never know. We'll never know because
you're 100% right.
It happened.
We'll never know. Right. Never happened.
You know, like they hear and they like, oh, he didn't want to battle with his friend. He didn't want to have a rap battle that he didn't believe in. He didn't want to. Oh, y'all just want to see a battle. Oh,
y'all just want blood.
Y'all don't even care about the music. And it's like, oh, shut up. Shut up. How is it that he don't want to battle with his friend, but he was throwing subs at this man for years?
Yes.
Years, gang. What are we talking about? Up until Kenny decided to put his slides on and come outside right before like that drop. Did we not hear Evil Ways and First Person Shooter?
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw out all the other slide bars from Cole. Just specifically First Person Shooter and Evil Ways. Right? What is Kenny supposed to do? Not say F these guys, I'm him? Is that a crime? And if we're talking and the competitive rapper guy, let's call it what it is. J. Cole's competitive rapper, I'm the best, so on and so forth. Forget the beef for a second. That's how I know a lot of y'all are not really heads for real. Y'all are cosplayers, huh? A lot of y'all Cole fans cosplay this hip-hop shit. Y'all really don't understand what's going on. If J. Cole strictly, because his role in the Drake thing is just that he was just saying he was the best. I don't think it was ever personal with him and Kenny. But if you say you're the best, you throw some slick darts Kendrick's way. Kendrick comes outside, says, y'all can't F with me. And he says it on record. If you're a best rapper guy, isn't it your job to prove in this moment that, hey, I'm best rapper guy, and I'm going to show you that I'm the best? Somehow, Kendrick saying, F the big three is just Big Me, and him dropping 7-minute drill turned into, oh, it's not in my heart. Oh, this and that. Oh, this and that. Like if we just break it down to the brass tacks of it all, it's don't got nothing to do with the beef. This is about as a person. If Sin was talking hellified shit about being the best beat maker, and he and I was somewhere on the Lower East Side in some spot, and another producer showed up and he said, you know what? I'm the best beat maker. Bro say, let's do a Swiss Beats Just Blaze situation right now. Let's go beat for beat. And Sin walks out the spot in the Lower. I'll be pissed off at Sin. So you told me for years you was the best.
Right.
You told me for years you was the best.
So
in that regard, if y'all understand what I'm saying, y'all can't defend that. And the problem is y'all keep trying to defend it and y'all keep trying to drag down the people who are calling you out for nonsense. You know, if y'all just be like, if Sin say whatever he's saying, y'all say, you know what, bro, yo, Sin, rap round table, I'm tired of hearing y'all niggas talk about that. Right? I can respect that. We gonna still talk about it, but I can respect that. You don't want to hear us talk about it anymore. But if you come on and you say, oh, y'all just wanna, and it's this and that, and Kendrick did this, and he's a friend, and all this and that, that means that y'all are willing to look past all of the BS, all of the logical BS to just defend this kid. And if y'all gonna do it disrespectfully, that's soft behavior. To me, anyway. That's how I look at it. And then you drop. Yeah. Somebody said Pi got some shot. Yes. If you really listen to rap, I think that's the difference. I'm babbling. I'm sorry, y'all. If you listen to rap, Cole been throwing darts at Kendrick for mad long. We've covered it on this platform. It's been darts flying his way. So it's like, how can you expect us in good faith to pretend that those darts haven't flown, and then he drops Port Antonio where he throws even more darts, and we supposed to be like, oh, well, all right, whatever. He's dropping the fall off. Let's just focus on the music. When the minute he comes back outside, he immediately reverted back to the shit about being the best. We got to talk about it because you ducked the one fade you had to prove he was the best. Your fans are soft. And it's specifically not the whole fan base. I'm talking to the cosplayers who pretend to, they want to be in every conversation about the victory. They want to be disrespectful in every comment section. They want to get mad when they get disrespected right back. Because we've had a supporter on this pod on this who stopped messing with us because he wanted to disrespect us, and when the disrespect kept flying back, he left. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't have it whatever way y'all want it. Your man let you down. It wasn't our fault. And if you can't handle having rap conversations, just admit that you're not a hip hop head. You just like J. Cole, and we'll be okay with that. I'm sorry. I just went on a whole.
No.
That was a cooking. That was a cooking.
You was cooking.
And
I'll pick up there because like I've noticed also that specifically in the aftermath of that post of my take on Instagram and on Twitter, I've been seeing a lot of J. Cole fans trying to like almost redefine what hip hop is. You know what I mean? And and I understand like every fan takes what they take out of the genre, out of the music. Whenever it is that they were introduced to the genre, that's like, oh, this is what hip hop is. Like, they plant the flag on that, and from there on out, that is what they consider their definition. But I don't know, man. It's something about being introduced to hip hop through J. Cole and then being like, this is what hip hop is supposed to be, that just kind of rubs me a little wrong because
Dennis shooting today, bro. I ain't gonna
because that's what these people do. That's what they do.
And this is specifically why, because it's like you want to take a guy that is fucking conflict avoidant, and claim him to be the king or the best or the top guy in a genre that's always been about some type of conflict, some type of back and forth, some type of battling, some type of sorrow, some type of competition.
You can't defend the indefendable, bro.
And now you wanna redefine. I've seen. I saw a tweet talking about hip hop. It's not about battling. It's not about competition. It's about the music. It's not about conflict. It's not about beef. It's about the music. Sure, it's about the music. Absolutely, 100%. But it is also other things. And you can't strip away essential parts of the culture and the genre just because your guy doesn't fit the mold of those parts that you don't like. Hip hop is what it is. You don't get to redefine it just because, my guy Cole, he's not really into the battling thing. So let's just strip away battling out of the entire genre and culture, just to fit, just for your guy to fit in, right? And then let's say, and then another point that I was thinking is, everybody that's coming out saying that like, that's his friend, like they really, have a relationship or get along. He didn't want to like, endanger a friendship. Bro, Jay and Nas, matter of fact, fuck Jay and Nas. Because there was a battle in around that same era that seemed like at any moment that shit was gonna spill into the streets. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Jadakiss and Beanie Siegel. When I heard their diss records going at each other, first Beanie Siegel's and then Jadakiss. Jadakiss was saying he was gonna put Beanie's braids on the yellow lines. That shit at any moment, Funkmaster Flex was like, I'm not even playing these records because I don't want it to escalate any further. That shit got thick quick. And what happened years later? What happened? Them motherfuckers is friends right now.
Yeah.
Right, like right now, you'll see, you go online, find pictures of them together. Them motherfuckers is cool as shit. On some kumbaya shit. Like they got it on, they sparred, whatever. They put records out at each other. They met up, they put that beef to bed, pause. And then now they're friends. So it's like I don't understand. I get it to a certain extent, but like you can't be afraid of competition and conflict because you think that conflict is going to exist forever. And it seems that's like I don't know. I mean I can't say what's actually in J. Cole's mind, but it seems like that's where his mind is at. Is like let me not, be out of pocket here against somebody that I consider a friend because there might not be any walking it back. And there's so many people that have gotten into like arguments and then made up, battled each other and then made up, had beef and then made up. You know what I mean? As long as it's not some street shit, y'all would have been good.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet Kendrick Lamar, and this is why I don't think, because we talked about could Kenny possibly be on the fall off. I don't think so, because I'm willing to think, and again, just my speculation, I don't know these people personally, but I'm willing to think Kendrick Lamar would have respected J. Cole more if he would have stood on business, 10 toes down, and moved forward with the decision that he made, rather than walk it back and apologize on some soft shit. You know what I mean? And because Kendrick would have understood. I think Kendrick would have understood. All right, he wants to spar. We'll get it on. We'll throw a couple jabs at each other, uppercuts, left hooks, whatever. We'll leave the ring. It'll be cool once we leave the ring. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta throw the hands just to do it. And then once that's done, y'all back to being cool. But I feel like Cole doesn't understand that part of the culture.
I mean, we don't gotta relitigate that. We've said that ad nauseum. It's the fact that he's empowered his fans to think that they can all partake the same way. Nah, if you're not really living it and you're not really of it, then you can't speak on it. You can't partake in it. You can't get mad when niggas say the actual facts of the matter and then come flying in the comment sections just saying, I'll just say the most disrespectful shit that 95% of y'all wouldn't stand on if the person was in front of you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all Cole fans are a bunch of hipsters just thinking it's play internet shit. It's like, nah, bro, stop defending your guy so hard. Like, he did that. You know what I mean? But then he was about to say something. My bad, I cut you off.
Yeah, it's defending it. Like, he's of the culture where that shit's unforgivable. So even if y'all not from that culture, understand that he is. You get what I'm saying? He can't fuck around like that. Like, I'm gonna start calling this nigga Dr. Strange because it was almost like the Time Stone shit again, where the nigga just did the 15,000 million scenarios in his mind. I don't want no smoke, and just gave up the Time Stone. That shit is whack, bro. Like, and my thing is, don't defend the whack shit because that's your man's. Like, y'all know y'all, I like each and every one of y'all niggas, but y'all did some whack shit. We going into the corner, I'm like, yo, what you did was whack. You're not gonna be able to escape the whackness of it all. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're defending the whack shit, which makes you whack. That shit is whack, bro. In every sense of the word, that shit is whack. That shit is the biggest cop out. The nigga really even shoot the real shot at these niggas for him to even bow out. You know what I'm saying? That's why when he just mentioned would Kenny be on the album, why Kenny wouldn't be on the album? Kenny has no loss. Kenny's on the album of the nigga who made him apologize. Like, like what loss does Kenny have?
That's kind of crazy.
Anywhere I show up on this nigga's music, I'm godly, bro. He put me there, and I didn't even have to do anything. I just said one line: "Fuck the big three, it's just Big Me," and everyone loses their minds, like in the words of the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like shit left, bro. Like, and the shit is that's why I said disappointment is sad, is whack, and I don't care how great the album is, how much he raps, how lyrical it is, how exceptional the song making is. He's just gonna be a nigga that's dog nice. But that number one spot, you can't attain that, bro. You can't attain that. It's the boxing nigga that's saying whoever wants to smoke, step into the ring. The nigga who wants to smoke, step into the ring, and all of a sudden you don't want to put the gloves on no more, bro. Like, I would never respect that shit. You would never be the number one boxer. You'll always be that nice ass nigga that just ran from the fight. You get what I'm saying? It is. And
I'll say this. My fault, Dean. I'll say this. Cool. On a PR scale, this shows that J. Cole has excellent PR, right? On a PR scale, let's say Drake has terrible PR. Kendrick is more like one of those people where you might hear fantastic things or terrible things depending on the person talking. Even though they might be a hater. J. Cole is the type that everybody kind of likes the guy, right? So when you get to a point like this where the J. Cole fans are aggressively hunting anybody who disagrees what he does. If you look at the landscape right now, half of the media types of the people who cover this thing are coming on to J. Cole's side. If you really look at it, they're saying, wait a minute, we're going too hard on this guy. Why are we doing this to Cole? Stop bothering Cole. If you really notice the landscape. So that's why I find
I don't think they believe that wholeheartedly, but go ahead.
No, they don't. They don't. You know what I mean? They just potting real well if you catch my drift. But you know, it's interesting what Jaws said, right, about the Kenny aspect. I feel like if Kenny or Drake did this, we would get the actual true reaction to how people felt about it. Because if you ask me, the reaction to Cole hasn't even been as bad as it could be, right? Immediately you had people saying, hey, J. Cole was really smart. He stepped out of this like Kendrick and Drake were shooting at each other. At the end of the day, guys, this is really aggressive poetry. J. Cole didn't have, you know what I mean? He didn't have some sort of, you know, oh, he got out of, you know, he didn't dodge a bullet like Keanu in the Matrix, bro. It was just real tough poems that he didn't have to get written about him. It wasn't some sort of, oh my God, you know what I mean? I can't believe Cole didn't do this. So for me, I'm like, man, I really like if Drake did this, you would really see how people feel about this situation. Drake did something similar, right? He just dropped out of the battle with Pusha T. Duppy Freestyle wasn't deleted off of the internet, right? He didn't apologize to Pusha T and say, yo, it wasn't really on my heart. He just stopped battling, right? And he got killed for it. So for J. Cole to, I'm gonna need a history lesson soon, y'all. For J. Cole to do what he did, you know what I'm saying, in front of the people that he did it in front of, listen, this is like all-time bad on an MC type of situation, right? We've always acknowledged these situations.
And I don't think they understand the MC portion of it. They don't understand the hip hop portion of it.
Just like the
you know,
music,
shout out to EJ telling the story about his pops, how they would go from borough to borough to compete. And again, if he spent X amount of years being full competitive, because we can't even say he was really being competitive, and saying he's the best, proving he's the best with the bars, and we respect that about it. Like I think that's what always gets lost. Like there's a level of disappointment in the fact that it's not about beef, because it's not having a rap battle, a lyrical warfare. It's not about beef. They're not about the fight, and no blood is going to be shed and none of that other nonsense. It's about competing. And if you say you the best, and then Kendrick comes outside and he's saying, in fact, it's me, and I could take another 5 years off, and you still wouldn't be better than me. You know what I mean? As competitors, that has to be proven. Jay-Z and Nas wasn't no. I mean, it could have spilled into the streets. Apparently, if you heard the stories, it had opportunities to spill into the streets. But at the end of the day, it was lyrical warfare between two all-time greats to prove who was the best out of New York. And that's all it was. And it's like a lot of y'all tourists, a lot of y'all cosplayers who don't understand that when you of a certain skill set and you project a certain type of energy like Jermaine has, then it has to come to a head. I had people in the Instagram comment section talking about, oh well, Biggie didn't battle Tupac, so why does J. Cole have to? I'm like, what? Like these are the comments that they're writing, gang. There's another comment here. But y'all rather listen to a fake pastor and fake drug dealer clips. Get the hell out of here. Pusha T never sold a milligram of coke, but y'all love to hype him. There was no real beef. Beef was when you want the opposition dead. Who's talking about beef though? We're talking about a guy saying that
nobody here.
We're talking about competition. We're talking about, matter of fact, there's a few others I want to read here because I just want you to understand the levels of ridiculousness. You know, another person said, is this any different than rapping about guns, drugs you never sold, guns you never shot, people you never killed, money you never had, etc., etc.? I'm like, disgusting. No. If the guy said he's
read
the
my
best,
response to that though.
Wait, did you respond to that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Says, did they apologize for making songs about those things and then go right back to talking about them? Points were made. You know what I mean? Another person, grown men celebrating beef instead of acknowledging why he stepped away from it is exactly why so many of the youth are where they are. These dudes are part of the larger problem. Sincere comes as competition isn't equal beef. This is the problem. They keep trying to make it seem like it was some street stuff. Like Cole said he the best. Cole threw lyrical darts at Kenny. Kenny said, I'm better than you. What are y'all talking about? When did this become 1995 and it's East Coast versus West Coast And then you're gonna have to watch the Wayans brothers or the Steve Harvey show for some rapper to do a guest appearance to talk about, protect your life, guys. We're not talking about that. We're talking about rap. We're talking about rap.
Oh,
and y'all,
shit.
a bunch of y'all tourists.
man.
And the thing is, J. Cole has allowed all of these hipsters and all of these tourists who don't know shit to feel like they have an opinion.
You mentioned Pie. You mentioned Evil Ways. You mentioned first person shooter. I'm looking at the secret recipe with him and Lil Yachty lyrics right now. J. Cole says, niggas fake, progressive, and woke. I started saying less. I had to stop it. Peep how they profit off of racial stress. A few months after Drake had the lyrics on a Playboy Cardi song saying niggas fake, woke, fake, deep. These niggas were in a room discussing Kendrick Lamar, shitting on him together, bro.
100%.
Didn't I call that out about
Didn't
I call that out about Cole when he dropped that?
This was 6 months before like that dropped.
No, but I'm saying though, the joint with Lil Yachty, didn't I point that out that he was talking to Kenny on
that day?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Like and J. Cole has continuously displayed this behavior, whether he decided to randomly start dissing 17-year-old Lil Pump, you know what I mean, about and create a whole album around rappers who are drug users. He didn't go at Future, right? He went at Lil Pump, right? He's the type of person to have a conversation with Wale and then write a song about Wale tomorrow.
Hold on, Mace. Look at this comment.
Right, he's the same person that was dissing Kendrick Lamar with Drake, and as soon as it got staticky, he ran away from Drake. So it's like, no, it's not beef, but it is a continuous behavior that he's displayed that's now being displayed through his fandom.
But hold on, you got to piece the puzzle because Marty McFly says a Yachty right for Drake, which means that all of these guys was in cahoots the whole time.
J. Cole did a random interview on Yachty's podcast. I'm like, well, how'd these guys get together?
And then all of us, after all of that, now it's not in your heart. And then you specifically, and then he specifically disses Mr. Morale in the Big Steppers, which refers back to what he talked about on the Yachty record, where they really kind of laughing at Kendrick's approach to being in therapy, being pro-black, so on and so forth. It's clear as day. So again, when he does all of this weasel shit, they go that word again, being a weasel. And then we pointed out, and then he drops the diss, it gets lambasted, and then we say, hold on, why you walking it back? All of these events that led to him walking it back, that's corny, gang. As fans, if you can't see it, I mean, Hov did corny things against Nas, I had to eat that, bro.
It's facts.
Right.
And vice versa.
And we never made any, concessions for the corny shit that was done in our era. Like when shit was corny, we called it corny. You know what I mean? Right. I've been accused of being a fake Nas fan because I'll go on record. I'll go on this, on this platform and say, nah, when Nas did that shit was corny, or that shit was whack. You know what I mean? That was a whack move over there. You know what I mean? And Jaw, same thing with Jaw. Jaw's not afraid of calling, what Hov does corny or whack, and that's a lesson that they're gonna have to learn at some point. I think a lot of that fandom has grown up in a soft era, honestly. So it's like I almost feel bad about calling them soft because like it's just the era that they've been brought up in. Yeah. And J. Cole represents a lot of the aesthetics of the era that he and they have come up in. And so this is a very sort of passive era. This is a non-confrontational era. This is turn the other cheek era. This is be the bigger person era, which is all fine and good. But again, when it comes to hip hop, y'all not about to redefine what hip hop is. Hip hop, at the end of the day, amongst all the other things about, bars, writing, social justice, braggadocio, all of that, like there's competition baked into it. And y'all not about to just remove that essential aspect of hip hop just because your guy doesn't fit into that mold. We're not doing that. And y'all not about to gaslight us into thinking that we're fucked up for thinking this. Y'all not doing that. Absolutely not.
They work.
Stop
They
being
working
soft.
extra hard to do it too. You know what I mean? And the thing is, you know, a person is wrong when they don't even have like a contingent opinion of it. It's so many different excuses for this guy. Like if a person is truly right or wrong in a scenario, you'll hear a fans be on message like going back to the Kobe thing. All right, boom, he lost in 2008 to the Celtics. What did most Laker fans say? We weren't tough enough. Pau Gasol was soft. We got punched on by the tougher team, and we universally agreed that we got punched on. When Jay-Z lost to Nas, we as in unison as whole fans, we said, you know what? When Super Ugly dropped, that's when he lost it. It was still a conversation to be had. But all of the hype and the circumstances around Super Ugly, only for him to start talking about baby moms and so on and so forth, and we argued amongst each other. We said, you know what? Yeah, in real life, if I said I smashed your baby moms and I left a condom on your baby seat, yeah, I might have won that. But in terms of rap, in terms of the rules of engagement and competition, he lost. You know what I mean? At least to the public, because Jay-Z was so above it all. He can't stoop to that level. His whole approach, at his whole prime, Hov was always above people. So when he decided to get down and dirty, pause, against Nas, it was like, why are you doing that? You never had to do that before. You know what I mean? And that was jarring for people. So when Super Ugly dropped, it was like, all right, that's we could point to that. Long story, less long. In this situation, all y'all had to do, y'all look at the moment. He left the stage, he threw some sneak disses, he dropped the diss, he walked it back. The end. We move on. If y'all have 10,000 different excuses for this, and they're trying to tell people what hip hop is, and this is what it ain't, and y'all don't understand, and y'all get it's like, guys, y'all can't even get your excuses together. So how are we supposed to take y'all serious?
And listen, all y'all got to do, honestly, is be like, yeah, you know, he's soft. That was some soft shit. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll come harder next time. Pause. But super pause. But you know, like there comes a time where you just kind of have to, like, you know, throw your hands up and be like, nah, like that was some weak shit. And it's all right. You don't have to defend everything. You know what I mean? You don't have to defend 100% of the actions that your favorite artist takes. That's impossible. There's gonna be some indefensible shit. You know what I mean? You got Kanye fans defending all the fuckery he does. You got Drake fans defending lawsuits. You got Cole fans defending, apologizing in front of how many people, Jov?
52,000.
50. Nigga, Dini, wait.
It was a long pause. It was a long pause. It was a long pause.
52,000 of his own people.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Not everything has to be defended, you know. And I know we've been at length on this topic. Pause again if applicable.
Nigga, you about to get ejected.
Word two. When you had the thick comment, I let you live on that one too.
You got one more time. We gonna have to mute you.
Shit was getting thick. We let you live. I didn't say nothing about that one.
All right. We've been going. We've been going for a while on this topic, but I want to point out this one particular interaction that I had on Twitter, right? This gentleman, you know, and I'll shout his name out. It's all good. Perpetually disappointed. His name is his @name is @StackingWs, which I don't know about how many W's you got on this one. He says J. Cole's argument for being the best never had anything to do, he used another word, but I'm trying not to curse, never had anything to do with going to war. In fact, it was mostly about out-rapping people he was collaborating with.
Is that it?
Cole wasn't afraid to compete with Kendrick for best verse on a track or best verses features in a 6-year time span. He wanted that kind of competition. These quotes are placed by him. Competition on first-person shooter when the concept of the track was showcasing the big three. Again, quotes. He didn't run from that smoke And that's the type of smoke he loves quotes. That's the type of smoke he was welcoming during the 18 to 2023 feature run. So if your argument is J. Cole can't rap about being the best MC because he refused to go to war, your argument is a non-starter because it's built on a fallacious foundation. I almost want to pause that because it's
what is it? Fallacious? I mean, only thing.
Fallacious.
That's
Hold up.
crazy.
I don't think that means what he thinks it means.
So you got a stupid nigga trying to sound smart?
That J. Cole was actively seeking war. I'll tell you something, man. These are some big hoops you're jumping through.
Talk about it.
To defend your man's. Look, man. Features are a different bag. You know what I mean? You could get features because that's your man's and you want to be on the same song together. You could do a feature and once the feature is in place, you could be like, oh, but I don't want to come in second or third. Like I got to get my bars up. Like that does happen, right? But that's not the main reason people do features. And people do features for money. People will phone in features just because they're getting a check, bro. Nigga. So like, what are you talking about? This is like the most asinine fucking response to this whole conversation. This doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? But if that was the case, why is he getting on tracks with Lil Yachty? Why is he getting on tracks with 21 Savage? If it's about, I'm gonna murder every ill MC that's out here because I'm the best. You're looking at the face of death.
Where's the songs with Rome Streets? Where's the songs with with Trust? Where's the songs with the niggas? That's the Boss Smiths then outside of Benny. They made me drop my
people have responded,
bro.
Sure.
Like all the you know what I'm saying? All the Boss Smiths.
He did a joint with Benny. He's done joints with Absol, Royce. This one guy responded. With this one guy responded, and he was throwing names in like Rick Ross. Okay, buddy. Wale, Meek Mill, okay, Big Sean. I'm sorry, Job, but I'm not taking Big Sean as an elite pen to compete with. I am absolutely sorry.
Damn.
Please miss me with that, right? And so like they throwing out all of these names, like, oh, I'm supposed to think Meek Mill is an elite pen. I'm supposed to think Rick Ross is an elite pen. I like these guys. I like their music. But if you're talking about battling, if you're talking about, I'm going to out-rap this guy, like, sure, you're J. Cole. Yeah, you're going to out-rap Rick Ross. You're going to out-rap Wale.
Meek Mill.
Like, that's just a given. So it's like, miss me with all of these, like, mental gymnastics that y'all doing out there to make excuses for your man. Get out of here, man.
And before, like I said before, for people who might have just pulled in, if y'all can't even be on the same accord about why your man is wrong, y'all got so many different versions, then that should tell you everything you need to know. Y'all are looking for excuses. We don't hate J. Cole. We enjoy the music. Like I said a couple of weeks ago when the single dropped and everything, I said that was S-tier rapping. S-tier rapping. So let's be clear. Like, I know he's really good at this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy the fact that he curates his bars and he takes time to make sure every bar lands. Like, J. Cole is not a layover bar rapper. He's not setting you up for the next punch. It's bar after bar after bar after bar. So it's like, we moving on. I just want to close this topic out. You know what I mean?
No. So I gotta say one more thing, because in that review, we said both sides of the argument. The song that he dropped, track 2, top notch. We said as much. We had nothing but incredible things to say. Incredible writing, the story backwards, visuals, everything. The visuals, everything. Chef's kiss. But we also said the other thing, right? About what we expect on the album, and hopefully he doesn't go too deep off the deep end on the, I'm the best out here bars. It's y'all fault out there, J. Cole fans. It's y'all fault that y'all are skipping over all of the positive things that we said about him and went straight to the negative. That's not our fault because we're being balanced.
Well, you know, negative
saying
sells.
We're both sides. We're on both sides of it.
People don't hear positives, bro. You know what I'm saying? Negativity sells. Like, you know, like if we was to decide to just put out positive clip. Matter of fact, I'll put it to you like this: with the exception of the GNX reaction that we did, none of the positive clips that we've ever put on Twitter went viral. All of our negative clips, all of our hot takes went viral. That's not to say that some of our clips haven't done well. There's doing well, then there's million view videos. Viral. Going across platforms. It's on TikTok and Instagram, and we didn't put them there. Viral. You know what I'm saying? People just like negativity, even with Curtis King. You know, Curtis King, he's never put any of our positive videos on his reaction channel. And he works with us. But if we say some crazy shit, he'll react to it because he knows that negativity spawns emotions and interactions. And I understand that's just the game. It is what it is. Business. But it's like, again, Cole, we know he's good. I know selfishly, and I've gone back and forth about it. Some days I feel like Cole would have beat Kendrick. Some days I feel like Kendrick would have beat Cole. But the point of the matter is that was such a close fight to me that I would have liked to have seen them. And the thing is, it's not personal. It's lyrical warfare to it. They could have their little fallout. Then they would have collaborated in a few years, and we would have moved on. You know what I'm saying? And again, if he doesn't drop 7-minute drill, if he completely stays out of it, even though Kendrick said whatever he said, and he just stays out of it and gives that same speech at Dreamville Fest, we respect it. Even though we know he subbed him and he decided to let Drake have that fade. But then you can always say, you know what? It's a one-on-one battle, and we wanted to see Drake versus Kendrick for years. We really don't want to see Drake versus Cole or Kendrick versus Cole. We wanted to see the two guys that actually had the squabble have the squabble. All he had to do was not drop the diss. Throw your little subs, your little darts, and stay out of the way. Don't drop 7-minute drill. Go on the stage and say, you know, it's not in my heart. Woo, woo, woo. We're not here right now. And if we're not willing to hold the person who made the mess accountable, don't call yourselves cursing us out. But we got to move on. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe option, the notification. But y'all been real stingy with the likes. Again, our views are always consistent. But y'all ain't been hitting the like button. It's not even like y'all hitting the dislike button. Y'all just not hitting the like button. So everybody who's hitting here right now, stop what you're doing. Hit the like button.
Hit that like.
Hit the notification.
244 y'all.
Swipe your height. Lock in. Hit the like button. Stop playing with the MF and like button. Don't forget to hit that shit. Don't be so ready to argue with us that you forget to hit the like. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Cyrock and talking about Port Antonio. Let me explain something to you. Now this is going to be as serious as I can be. I try not to disrespect rappers. More often than not, we're not we're not academics. We're not out here disrespecting rappers, calling them out their names, because that's just not the approach. But if I got to be honest with you, if remove J. Cole and popular rapper from the situation, and TB $50 holla, love you for that.
Salute.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She spun the block. You know what I mean? She said that second one by accident, though. I ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna send one of those back. In a real world situation, if anyone did what J. Cole did and then dropped Port Antonio, I might call him a bitch ass nigga. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just on a surface man level. You can't do all of that. Walk off the stage, then drop Port Antonio and still throw darts. I'm gonna call you a bitch. And I'm not gonna call him a bitch now because it's disrespectful. But I'm just saying, as a man, that's bitch ass shit. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter.
So
that's it.
Sorry, if I can add one thing on that. It people don't realize or they don't think back on how Kendrick was he was responding with the energy that he was receiving. Right? When Euphoria dropped, he warned Drake. He was like, we can keep it friendly, but I'm gonna put it on you. Whatever you respond with, I got you right back. You know what I mean? And then drop 616, which was even a further warning. Like, are you sure you want to take it there? Right. So when people, this also bothers me, right? When people say, oh, J. Cole didn't want to go into the mudslinging, he didn't want to go into it knowing that it was gonna be about like, gossip and all of this other shit that got nothing to do with just bars and rhyming.
Mhm.
We don't know because Kendrick was he was only taking it there because he knew Drake was gonna take it there. But if it was just Kendrick and J. Cole, and J. Cole responded with a certain energy, that's where I feel Kendrick would have left it. He wasn't gonna go into some disrespectful shit on J. Cole if that's not the energy J. Cole was given. You know what I mean? Kendrick only took that route because he knew that's the route Drake was going to take, and that's how he knew he was going to defeat him on his own grounds. Right? That's the only reason it went there. People want to go, 2020 hindsight and be like, this is where it ended up going, so this is what it was always going to be. No, that's not how it was always going to be. It got there because of the steps that were taken into the battle.
I know we got to get right out of this convo. We've been an hour on J. Cole. But just understand the crux of that argument is that J. Cole didn't want Kendrick to say anything too mean about him. That's the crux of that argument. Okay, so if that's it, he didn't want Kendrick to say anything too bad. If that's what you standing on, then Cole is everything we said he is.
Yeah. And to this person, I want to get the comment right. He says, "See, Jarvin, I know that. So why you not calling Cole a bitch ass nigga? Because at the end of the day, I think this is some bitch ass shit. But I don't want to get to calling rappers out of their name because we're not a shock jock establishment over here. And there might be a chance I might want to talk to J. Cole one day, and then he's gonna be, why did you call me a bitch ass nigga that one time? You know what I mean? I don't want no stories about Jaw getting swung on by rapper teams at clubs like Academics. You know what I mean? I want to keep our platform as respectful when it comes to the artists as possible. You know what I mean? Like, not other platforms doing sucker shit, I'm gonna kick they back in 10 times out of 10. But artists that I would love to talk to in real life, I'm not calling them out their names. Hell no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
TB, we're gonna send one of those back. We got
TB, we're gonna send it back.
Send your TB, if you have us on Instagram or Twitter, send any one of us your Cash App and I'll send that 50 right back to you.
For sure.
But yeah, let's move on. So Jim Jones, capo status, big New Yorker himself.
That's my guy.
Jomo.
Anyway.
Hanson say that was wild.
He made a comment essentially not necessarily saying he made the career of Kid Cudi, but he's saying that his remix of Day and Night helped launch the career of Kid Cudi. So of course, as things go, it gets on the internet, people get to talking, they get to slandering Jim Jones, and somehow that turns into slandering New York, because once Jim Jones said something, we kind of agreed as New Yorkers on how it works. And even when we tried to explain it in logical terms, people weren't trying to hear what New York had to say about Capo and his helping of Kid Cudi. And Kid Cudi got on there and he was like, oh, Jim Jones didn't do this, and the song was out of here because it was on MySpace, so on and so forth. Y'all know the drill. If y'all don't know what it is, I'm giving y'all the layout for those who might not know what's going on. But with that said, it spawned the conversation of more anti-New York sentiment. Jim Jones was wilding. A bunch of people on the internet say, I never heard of Jim Jones' version of Day and Night, so on and so forth. And the Rap Roundtable is here to talk about it all. Mesito, you threw some information in the chat. I don't want you to get to that right away. We're going to get there. Don't lead with that. I just want your perspective on the conversation that Jim Jones spawned and the reaction to the conversation that Jim Jones spawned.
The conversation that Jim Jones spawned is interesting, right? Jomo, he seems like hell bent on like getting people, getting in the algorithm, right? And I think that's part of the reason that people are so like resistant towards it, right? The breath in the air of the studio. He clearly lying about having eaten that. The stealing bread from Kanye, and the biggest thing, right? The I'm hotter than Nas, I'm better than Nas. So Jomo was on like a year run of bad promo to Pusha T. This is for Drake, right? Jomo's been pissing a lot of people off recently. So I think this is one of those conversations where as soon as it happens, a lot of people who are in that internet gang up culture, you know, we have a whipping boy, you know, a person that we just gonna get at. Jimmy is that guy right now. So when people hear this, they of course people from, you know, we never heard that Jim Jones version, and you know, I'm not saying they're lying, right? Although it's an interesting conversation when it comes to New York, because when New York says, yo, I never heard an 8-Ball and Jim MJG song until they was down with Puffy, we look like the bad guys, right? So you know, we can't say that we never heard of these guys, you know, before their big moment, but they can say that about us. But you know, the conversation itself is interesting, right? Because the conversation, it really kind of exposes people's a certain knowledge, right? It exposes the knowledge of market share. It exposes that y'all was not around. You know what I mean? This is 2008. This is a 2008 conversation. This is not 2026 when algorithms are at play and playlisting is at play and streaming is at play. 2008 is a very streamlined. We're talking pre-Big Three, y'all. 2008 Day and Night. This is pre-Carter 3, Lil Wayne. Like, this is a long time ago. So I think a lot of people are kind of putting their arguments towards this conversation, you know, but modernizing it, right? Talking about acting like, you know, Kobe and Vince Carter was playing in the 3-point spread offense era, right? This is two different conversations. So a lot of people are exposing this, you know, their age and also their kind of knowledge of what was going on at the time. We not saying Jim Jones is Jay-Z, bruh. That's not the argument that people are trying to make. The argument is, you know, where Kid Cudi was at the time. The argument is what Jim Jones meant to the city that he's speaking about at the time. There's a reason that in 2026, Jim Jones can still be in the algorithm, right? He might have been a big deal at one time, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, why does Jim Jones make headlines every week? I think it's because, you know, he kind of mattered. But, you know, for me, y'all, and for the rest of the guys, like, the conversation for me, it just kind of spins back to, you know, and Sin, I love the hat today, Sin. Excellent hat for this episode. For me, it kind of just goes back to people kind of wanting to disrespect New York and go out of their way to minimize what New York artists and what New York's opinion of things might have mattered. No, I'm not saying, you know, in the era of Cash Cobain and A Boogie that, you know, you got to blow up in New York first. But in 08, when Jay-Z was still a guy, you know what I mean? Before the next era, you know, the guys who we call old now weren't even out yet at this time. So I don't know. It exposes a lot of bias to me, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Shit, man, look. But you know, the minute we get to talking, oh, it's the New York bias, you dirty New Yorkers, we hate you. Anyway, they need a balance. What are your thoughts on this situation?
I want to get into the numbers part of it that makes, because I feel like, mate, that's pretty much the key. You know, I just think like a lot of people do, Jimmy just oversold the story. And I think that's what the issue is. You get what I'm saying? If Jimmy didn't oversell the story and just said, hey, man, my remix to this was a major contribution into all the buzz that went on, I would have respected it. But sometimes when you tell a story, he damn near almost, because I remember he damn near almost said, like, there wouldn't even be a Kid Cudi if I didn't do the mix. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just where Jimmy has an issue with overzealousing things. You know, he just tends to take things up to the next level. Well, other than that, there is some truth to what he was saying. A broken clock could be right twice a day. I know we stay on Jimmy head pause, you know, because he stayed out of line. But, you know, there is some truth to what he was saying in that conversation. Like, as Mace will get into later, like, there is huge jumps in where the record was to where it was after Jimmy did what he did. You get what I'm saying? So I just don't want to, I know we look at Jim like he's just batshit crazy. He's been through some shit. You get the crying on the ice cold, you know, because I always wonder, because I'm like, I got some good jackets, man. I want to wear some of my jackets on the pod, but I'm too hot. I'm like, how can these niggas wear their jackets, leathers on the pod? And that explains everything. It's ice cold in there. Shout out to those dudes. Love them. Yo, I got some good leathers, man. I've been wanting to put my shit on.
Yo,
I'm hot. I'm hot right now talking to you niggas. You know what I'm saying? So we might have to make that. We might have to make the studio cold too, so I can get fly. But yeah, Jim just oversold it a little bit. But that's what Jim does. If you've been listening to Jim as long as we've been fucking with Jim since what, like 01? You know what I'm saying?
Damn, son.
Like after like 98 when Cam took off, he was there he was there for that, but he didn't really take off to like, you know, the diplomatic immunity a little bit prior to that era. But shout out to Jim, a little too overzealous, sold the story a little too much, but he wasn't 100% capping. There is some truth in what he was saying.
So, and that's why I'll get in real quick because I'm about to give Sin the full ISO. The problem with New York is sometimes it's a combination platter of y'all out of town niggas. Some of y'all are a little too sensitive, but at the same time, on the opposite end of being too sensitive, we are too loud. So when you put those things together, it creates messes. You know what I'm saying? And Deanie made the point, and that was going to be the point I made before we get into the actual heart of the matter. New Yorkers, we can't help to exaggerate. New Yorkers in regular day-to-day life are habitual exaggerators. If we tell you a story, there's truth. Instead of telling you the 100% truth of the story, we're going to tell you 125% of the truth, which means that extra 25% is wild exaggeration. But it's for impact. You know, we can't help it. We all got our thing. Every town, every region, every city got their thing. New Yorkers are exaggerators. We tell stories. We extra. I'll be like, yo, yeah, you know, this is just a small rendition of it. You know, my guys that might disagree with me, and I'm like, y'all trying to kill me right now. You know what I mean? I didn't try to kill me, but I just said one thing that y'all disagree with it as a panel. That's a slight iteration of New York is exaggerated. It'll be three guys trying to jump you on a corner. They'll come back to like, yo, it was wild niggas. They tried to jump me. It was 3 people. But by the time you get back to the block, it was like 17 niggas that tried to beat you up. That's just who we are. The truth of the matter is, we were about to get jumped, and it was 3, but we're gonna tell you it's 17. That's just what we do. It was 8 niggas. Look at how Freaky told you the story when he his legs in the air and all that. Come on, like you know what I mean?
Full Nelson.
Relax. Y'all gotta relax. Like that's who we are. Now Capo threw some extra mustard on that story. You know, he didn't. I don't think he made the career of Kid Cudi, but the way he verbalized it, he put some extra gas on it, and here we are right now. To say the rap style, I'm going in the corner if you want to kick it out, but the floor is yours, sir.
Well, I mean, you guys have covered it well. I mean, y'all cooked and mostly made the points that I was going to make. New Yorkers, we are storytellers. We are embellishers. We tell and create movies. You know what I mean? Like if you go see a movie that's a biopic, you want to see just the 100% like dry ass actual events that took place, or do you want to see some dramatization to it? You know what I mean? That's what we do. We add a little bit of dramatization to it to make it a good story. You know what I mean? To Jarvis' point. To the other points, yeah, like a lot of people came out saying, "Oh, you know, Jomo is wilding as usual." But on this rare occasion, I don't know how much he's really wilding. Honestly, I'll tell you this much. I remember Day and Night dropping. It was introduced to me by a coworker. Guys, you know, y'all might remember Santiago. Well, I don't know. He was a page. Anyhow, he introduced me to the record, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I remember him saying like, "Oh, you know, it's something different. It's like a different new energy, you know." So like, and he was a younger cat. He was way younger than me. So the younger heads were already like on that wave. They were on the internet wave. They were on the MySpace wave. They were on the blog wave. You know what I mean? But there's a reason why certain people look back at the blog era the way that they do, with the fondness they do. Job, you mind muting? There's a reason that certain people of a certain age range look back at the blog era with a certain fondness, because that was the era where they were discovering music in a completely different way than the rest of the audiences and the rest of the public was discovering music, right? And at my age at the time, when I heard Day and Night being played on the radio, it was the Jim Jones version. Once he had done the remix, that's what I was hearing on the radio, right? The younger demographic at that point had been discovered the record because they were chronically online, right? And I think that speaks to the divide of that era where, a lot of people were still, radio's still alive, it's still breaking records. And other people, younger people, were like, radio's dead, everything is online now, right? So I think there's truth on both sides, right? To be diplomatic about it. What I have the biggest problem with here, though, is that one way or another, the accounts of what happened in New York always seem to be wrong outside of New York. What happened here, somehow we're wilding every single time. In the same week that this story breaks with Cudi and Jim Jones, we also had this story circulating where Sleepy Brown of Dungeon Family was claiming that Biggie got Kangol, the style of hat, Kangol from Outkast. That Outkast introduced Biggie to Kangol. That Biggie would never be wearing Kangol ever in life if it wasn't for Outkast. Never mind Slick Rick, never mind Dana Day, never mind Kangol Kid, never mind the entire 80s in New York. It was Outkast. It was Outkast that put Biggie on and introduced him to Kangol. He never would have discovered Kangol otherwise, right? And so we here in New York are like, yo, y'all kind of wilding out there because like Kangol was a huge thing here. No, there go New Yorkers. Y'all wilding again. Like, it's been confirmed. It's been documented that Biggie got Kangol from Outkast. I bet. Fine. Y'all got it.
Not to mention the Caribbean aspect. Biggie's a first generation American. You know how much Caribbean MF was wearing Kangols and Clarks and desert boots and all that? Like,
talk about it.
Come on, man.
So all right, bet. Right? Y'all are saying that Biggie was introduced to Kangol from Outkast in Atlanta. Right? So y'all want to give Atlanta the credit. So now in the same week, Jim Jones comes out and says, yo, like, I helped that Cudi record become the monster that it did. Oh, there go New York wilding again. But see, when we put the context on it, right? And Mace, I'm gonna hand it over to you because you're about to put the full context on it. When we put the context on it, the context doesn't matter. Like, it's New Yorkers, y'all always wilding, right? But then when we said Atlanta was wilding for introducing Biggie to Kangol, they wanted to put all the context in the world on it. The context always matters when it's outside of New York, but when it's in New York, it's like New York always wilding. And y'all gonna have to keep the same energy on these conversations because there's always nuance. There's always some truth that's somewhere in the middle. But every time it's New York that's involved, it's like if it's outside of New York, it's facts. If it happened in New York, y'all wildin'. Y'all got to get it together out there. Y'all got to keep the same energy on both sides and stop this New York hating, man. Y'all really be hating for no reason. What it would do to y'all. Or get the fuck off my lawn.
There we go.
Thank you. And real quick, and this is the thing, New Yorkers stay hating on each other and all this and that. I didn't know hate had a region. There's haters in every city, state, county, borough, country. This whole New York hater rhetoric is tired. All these cliches about New York, man. Look. There's plenty of New Yorkers who will go out of town and feel like that country nigga down the block is hating on them. Is what that mean? Hate don't exist anywhere else? It's people from the South, from the Midwest, who's talked about people in their own neighborhoods when they was trying to come up that was hating on they come up. That wasn't New York. That was wherever they was from. This whole thing about this false narrative about hating is everywhere. Let's stop pushing that. Mesito, more importantly, you got some information that'll help. It'll help Jim Jones, but it'll probably hurt us for talking about it.
Right.
But let's go.
You know, the truth is sometimes angers folks. But listen, it's like sometimes you have to do the research, right? Sin kind of set the stage perfectly, right? Because the song Day and Night, the official release date of Day and Night was February 5th, 2008. And so, Sin, you 100% correct. I was one of those, I was 18, not even out of high school yet. This was one of those type of records, right? Where somebody of my ilk would have known what was going on. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a record that I would bring to, the lunch table and argue with you guys about, right? It was a niche record that young people knew, that a certain Soho demographic of New York knew, right? Because
it was a bunch of niggas we would not talk to. Say it. Don't tap dance around it. Don't tap dance around it. Niggas that was listening to that, it was niggas we would not talk to.
Let's talk about it. And so that's what, early 08, February 08. So we go the entire year. You know what I mean? Clearly it's a classic record. Nobody's shitting on the record, but we go almost an entire. We get all the way to late October 21st, 2008. If you go to the original posting date of Jim Jones' Day and Night remix video, the one he's describing about that he made, is October 1st, 2008. So we had the Cudi record going the entire year, clearly making noise somewhere. Jim Jones remixes the record in late October. The first entry of Day and Night on the Billboard charts, the first date that it entered was January 31st, 2009. So we have the entire, almost a year after the record is done, it entered the Billboard charts at number 40. So listen, for me, shit is as clear as day. February 08, the record comes out. October 08, Jim Jones remixes the record. January 09, the record is all of a sudden on Billboard. For me, that's as clear as it gets, right? And for me, somebody mentioned the New York derangement syndrome. I feel like I know what's going on with it. You know what I mean? Because, listen, I don't feel like people in 2026, it's no problem for you to say there's clearly an Atlanta stimulus, right? You have to be popular in Atlanta, in order to make a worldwide, impact, right? Same thing with, you may not feel about Drake right now, but the last few years, everybody was open to admit, hey, Drake get on your record, or you get seen next to Drake, you're more popular than you are. If you want me to be honest, not saying everybody. So we have the Little Johns in the East Side Boys. They obviously had no New York, type of cosign. Artists like Gucci Mane, there was no New York cosign. But if you look at the prominent artists out of New York in this 2000s era, Rick Ross was signed to New York Def Jam, Jay-Z. Same thing with Jeezy. Lil Wayne, y'all hate for us to say it, but Lil Wayne was turning his wheels with those squad up tapes, doing ether freestyles, dropping 1,000-bar
rolling with Dipset. Don't leave it out.
No, but I'm saying, but all of that was happening, right? And it wasn't really making the move. But then, like you say, he get next to Dipset, the swag get different, the flow get different, the freestyles get different. All of a sudden, Wayne is at a different level. T.I. had I'm Serious, trap music, Rubber Band Man. Diddy's in the video. We kind of say, yo, who's this guy? Next record that comes out, the Jay-Z, the Swiss Beats beat, the Jay-Z sample. It's hard for y'all to admit that in this time, the New York cosign meant a thing. We're not saying it means it now. We know that other places, you probably better off getting a Chicago cosign or Atlanta cosign in 2026. Yeah. But in 2008, the cosign was needed. And if you're not saying it was needed, it definitely helped. The proof is in the numbers.
Hold on, and real quick. This is what I be talking about with adjacent arguments. Rick Rizzy. Cudi was writing on 808s and Heartbreak with the 8 before Jim dropped. What the fuck that got to do with the song being successful or not?
The record.
The ghostwriting ain't helping Day and Night take off.
What was Sci-Hi's first single before he got with Kanye? We don't know. You know what I mean? Just ghostwriting for Kanye don't get you a hit record,
Yeah.
brother. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. And it's like, and I was trying to talk about that earlier, but it's like when people have their mind made up, you know, it's no real reasoning with them, and especially with the New York topic, because again, we all who we are. Some people, oh y'all arrogant, y'all this, y'all that. That's just our city, bro. Like we can't help who we are. Every city has a personality trait, and again, like I said at the top of the segment, who we are fundamentally is diametrically opposed to everywhere except maybe L.A. If we're being truthful about our personality and our disposition, everywhere else they don't like our type of energy. You know what I mean? And that's totally understandable. I want to make sure that that's clear. But again, if you have a record, you know, it's doing this thing on MySpace, but we're not gonna pretend like MySpace was what TikTok or Instagram was as far as blowing up records. Yes, artists got a bump from MySpace. There's even a handful of acts who got deals off of MySpace. I want to make sure that I cover each and every base, okay? But if you're from a flyover state, or if you're from a small town and this song is going crazy and you're hearing it, great. But let me explain something to you. In 2008 specifically, maybe not so much 2026, with the advent of the internet, once that song gets into the tri-state area in 2008, it doesn't matter what happened in Idaho. It doesn't matter what happened in New Mexico. It doesn't matter what happened in North Carolina. The only other state that it matters is Atlanta. Because Atlanta, even by 08, Atlanta was already out of here. If you popped in Atlanta in 08, you was good money. Let's be clear. Especially if you think about if he gets on a song in 2008. What was one of the biggest records in 07?
Ballin'.
Oh. Who remixed that song? As a diss?
The Jigger, man.
Who won a Super Bowl in 2008 and was using that song as a vehicle for their Super Bowl run? The New York Giants. So all of these factors. So like if we're gonna have a conversation, let's have the conversation. It's too much poo-pooing of Jim Jones, especially in this chat. Then I'm reading the comments right now. And it's like, unless you're willing to really go back in time and relitigate and remember what the fuck was going on, shut the fuck up. All due respect. Capo might not have been Jay-Z or Kanye or even Lil Wayne, but he had a wave.
Right. Coming off balling the year earlier, that's
not even my cup of tea. I want to make that 100% clear. I'm a Max B guy, so imagine what you know what I mean. I hear ball and I'm like, that's a Max B record. That's what I heard when I listened to ball. Let's call it what it is. But if that song is doing well out of state and then it gets into the largest media market in the world at a time when radio still mattered, when radio was still grail, and not to mention New York had two high circulating rap hip hop radio stations at a time when no other city had more than one. Mm-hmm. So if somehow you think that this song doing well in your small town was enough, and then when it got to New York, it didn't matter, I'm here to tell you that you're full of shit. Once it got to New York in 2008, make sure you said it charted when? January 30th, 2009. Mm-hmm. So the song been out since 2007 on MySpace. Didn't chart. The song officially got released in what was it, Mace? Of
February 08.
February 2008. Jim Jones got on the record in the largest media market in the world. And then by January 30th, it's on the chart. Now, again, I don't agree with Jim Jones that he made Kid Cudi's record. I think that's an overstep. But if you're going to pretend like getting major spins in the largest media capital in the world don't help elevate any artist, especially when all of the labels are in New York City, I can't help you. I can't help you. If you don't understand market share and how that impacts everything to this very day, even for all of y'all right now in y'all small towns, I know, y'all say that we live in a New York bubble. We all live in bubbles. We all believe that the thing around us is the thing. But the reality is, it's New York, It's Los Angeles, it's Dallas, it's Miami, it's Atlanta. Okay? Chicago, part itself. I forgot about Chicago. All those cities I named is where the money is made. Sorry, not sorry. I ain't got no more to say on that because y'all niggas want to play dumb. I don't got time for that bullshit.
Oh shit! Did he just?
Now my battery
niggas.
Send it over to somebody. Like, what's going on?
Right there. So, and that's the thing, right?
That's it for the show tonight.
I don't think anybody up here and any logical person is here to say Jim Jones made Kid Cudi, especially when, yes, he was on Kanye records the next year. You know what I mean? He was out of here, yes. But the record, day and night, the record. That's you know what I mean? Not Kid Cudi as an artist, not where he was going, not the music he was making, not his talent, but the record day and night.
And Mesito, let's be clear, because you know, people like to play dance. If Jim Jones does an unofficial remix, you think Seattle not, as far as big markets go and how the money is made, Seattle's on the come up. They ain't gang for real yet, but they on their way. But Mesito, if a Kid Cudi record in the biggest media market in the world, whether Jim Jones gets on it or not, does that not count as a spin?
Yes, it counts as the spin because it's the production. So the beat getting spins counts as the spin towards Kid Cudi.
So all those enormous spins in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, wouldn't that help lead towards a single going crazy?
Absolutely. Of course it would. And that's
what are we talking about?
The surrounding markets. You know what I mean? When we say New York, we mean CT, we mean New Hampshire, we mean Jersey, we mean everybody over along the East Coast. Yeah. Kid Cudi was living in New York. Kid Cudi was working in New York. He was part of that, and he wasn't getting play in New York. It mattered, bro. I'm sorry, it did. And Jimmy, as much as, listen, we make fun of him every week.
All the time.
Of course. He overstepped his boundaries with what he said. I want to make that clear. But to y'all saying he ain't help, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
And it's just like I said earlier. It's all about PR and it's all about the person saying it, right? If it wasn't Jimmy, if it was a much more liked character, I don't know. Maybe if J. Cole said I made Kid Cudi, people would believe it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But Jimmy is just, his PR is so bad, nobody's going to believe anything he has to say. But the facts are the facts. You have to give him his credit. There are, if you go online and search right now, there's video footage of Kid Cudi and Jim Jones performing the song together. So if you just going to perform it with anybody who remixed it, or was it significant in a huge market, a place that you wanted to be accepted, not only a place, but a demographic that you wanted to be accepted? Because in 2008, it was much more difficult than it would be now for a Kid Cudi-like character to be accepted by the people who would have been fans of Jim Jones. That was a huge demographic gain for him as well. So let's be honest here.
They not understanding that. They still trying to argue like this is not even my opinion. It's literal market share fact. I don't got a dog in this fight. I don't care about Jim Jones.
You're not talking to no Jim Jones stands over here.
I don't give a damn. But again, if you put a song in the biggest market in the fucking globe and it gets regular rotation, in fact, it was getting major spins. Because I remember I used to run from. Let's be clear. I used to run from that song because I didn't like it. I would turn the radio. I used to go between Power and Hot 97 when that song would come on. I would run away from it because it would not get off my radio station. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like a Jarve type of song.
It's not. Y'all not catching me spinning that. It's not my body. Y'all know that. You know what I mean? But it's like, homie said a Day and Night was on the show Entourage in November. Oh wait, yes. Shout out Entourage as well. They gave him. He was acting on the show. Kid Cudi made some waves. Be clear. That's why we're not agreeing.
Saigon.
Okay, and it didn't quite work out for Saigon. Hey, shit. That's why I want to say that we're not agreeing with Jim Jones. He did not make Kid Cudi's career. Kid Cudi had a successful runway. What we're saying is to act as if Jim Jones didn't help that song propel and catapult by getting major spins in the biggest media market in the world, then you're not being serious. That's all we saying. So we disagree with both sides of the argument. Long story short,
right?
Cudi saying that Capo ain't help. Jim saying that he helped a lot. We're saying it's somewhere in the middle.
And just to give it extra context, and we can move on. But I looked it up. Kid Cudi's highest charting records up until 2020, Day and Night was his highest charting record at number 3.
Over Pursuit of Happiness? That I'm shocked.
And in 2020, he had a joint with Travis Scott that hit number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, I mean, Day and Night being his biggest charting hit, and it charted when? After Jim Jones did the video. So, all we're saying is that there's some correlation there. You know what I mean? It's not completely outlandish.
Right.
It's also not completely the truth in terms of making Kid Cudi, all together. So
that's a fact. That's all we saying. All the extra New York debating and asking why they're in New York and why they're in New York and this and that. I'm like, hold on, like we not even having that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to know what happened in New York radio, ask the nigga that worked for Apple Music. Don't ask us. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you. It don't got. That ain't our fight. There's plenty of artists who have a real issue with Ebro from New York. So you gotta talk to him about that. Envy includes still. And what's his name? It was Envy Cool. What's the other dude? The Gwen and Team dude.
Self.
DJ Self. They still played New York records. On Hot, they got a little weird. Even Flex wasn't breaking New York like that anymore. It just we got caught in the political warfare. I can tell you, like I always tell y'all the story. I've been to labels. I've had the conversations. Sonically, we wasn't making the music niggas wanted to hear. And then when we decided to make the southernish sounding thing, niggas got mad at us and said, "Why y'all not making New York music?" We was in a trick bag. Cobra Clutch. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But again, Jim helped. He didn't make Cudi's career, but he definitely helped. And if you can't see that, we can't help you. I don't want to help you either.
I'm sorry.
God bless.
Dean, you asked about Pursuit of Happiness, which is another huge.
Yeah,
I think of it as a huge Kid Cudi record. Number 59 on Billboard. That's where people.
Wow.
If I say Bun B helped Drake get accepted in Houston, wouldn't everybody?
Matter of fact,
agree with that.
Hold on, Mace.
No
Hold on, Mace. I thought you was gonna say the thing, but you stopped at the goal line. Capo helped Kid Cudi the same way Bun B and Pimp C helped Jay-Z in the South. Jay-Z still Jay-Z, and he was still Jay-Z before Big Pimpin'. But best believe he unlocked the market connecting with those guys.
Exactly.
It's the same shit. But the difference is Bun B and Pimp C won't get on a rest in peace Pimp. Want to get on a platform and say, well, we made Jay-Z. We helped Jay-Z. They wouldn't say that. Right. Capo puts his foot in his mouth and it turns into something else.
There you go.
Right. Let's move on. We got this Drake and ASAP Rocky thing. We won't spend too much time on it because he spent a lot of time on two topics,
Yeah, a little bit.
Macito, come to the front of the class. ASAP Rocky says, anyway, matter of fact, I hate when niggas just be dumb. Matter of fact, I don't even like the way he came into my chat. Not you. This person here. I don't even like the way he came in. So I'm just gonna ban you off GP. ASAP Rocky says that Drake moves like a female. Like a gal. Linked up with DJ Academics and said his energy is that of a lady. Which means that this situation don't got nothing to do with music. It don't got nothing to do with anything but Rihanna. They mad over a woman.
Yeah.
Where are you at with this whole Drake and ASAP Rocky thing? And should hip hop even give a damn at this point?
Listen, man, I say Rocky's not a writer, he's a biter. I've heard that plenty of times that Drake is acting like a woman. Get on the line, ASAP. Listen, I believe it completely. You know where ASAP is coming from. We know how Drake feels about Rihanna, bro. And the thing is, a lot of the Drake fans are coming with like receipts of Rihanna feeling Drake too. Yeah, Rihanna was feeling Drake too, but not enough for it to be where Drake wanted to go. Drake used to write records about naming his kids after Rihanna, about how he hoped his kids had Rihanna's eyes. Like it's like, let's be real here, bro. Let's be real.
Yuck is crazy.
Let's be real, like it's come on. So do I believe that Drake got weird with ASAP immediately after. Not that he was dealing with Rihanna, because once upon a time Rihanna was going places. But I think once it was clear that Rihanna had chose Rocky, yeah, it got weird. And he listen, he wouldn't be the first guy to hate a guy who took his his true love, right? I believe it. So at this point, I think it's a little bit much. A lot of people are saying, yo, why is Rocky making this his rollout? I don't think it's his rollout. I think it's a question that people have, like, that needs to be answered. Like, if he don't answer it, then people were saying, why is Rocky going out of his way not to talk about Drake? It's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, man, Drake, this is a microcosm of it. I feel like I'm transported back to March 2024 when, we were trying to figure out, why does everybody hate Drake? And it was like, yo, Drake used to mess with Metro's girl, and Drake and Future was arguing over a different girl, and Drake, like, this is Drake. So many of Drake's problems have ended up with women sharing women with men, going after other men's women, his woman getting taken from him. Like, his whole like story is wrapped around how he deals with women and the things that women may have done or he did to women. So this is completely believable, especially when we look at the timeline, because just like Rocky said, Drake was at Yams Day in 2020, a legendary Yams Day. Gave him the legendary ASAP Yams chain. That was one of the best chains ever if you look it up. And immediately things got weird. Now, academics say he spoke to Drake's people, not Drake himself. He said he spoke to Drake's people, and that Rihanna basically was kind of alluding to Rocky not rocking with him backstage. Apparently Drake and Rihanna spoke, and Rihanna said, yo, the only reason you're not performing is because there's some insecurity in the house. Now, I don't listen. It is what it is. This is he say, she say to the max, but this is on a larger scale, you know what I mean? Because pause maybe. On a larger scale, like, this is Drake's, like, his villain story with everything revolves around women, bro. It's like, I feel like Drake would have been so much better off if, like Job say, he got his hairline was correct back in the day, and he had these dealings with women his whole entire life. I feel like Drake got famous, and he had, he wanted Nicki Minaj, and he got, summarily dismissed in that situation. And he wanted Rihanna, and Rihanna wasn't feeling them all the way crazy. You know what I mean? And he dealt with J-Lo, and J-Lo wasn't dealing with him, all the way. Like, this is the story with Drake and so many women. You know what I mean? It's just a shame that he's let himself, like, betray the art of war in the way he deals about this situation.
I mean, I don't got much to add. Deanie, what you got to say about this, B?
Girl tendencies are there, man. I hate to say it, the painted nails, the duck faces, the weird hairstyles. That's definitely it. But we always knew there was back in the day, like, niggas would derive power from that. You know what I'm saying? Beefing another nigga lady. You get what I'm saying? It was always kind of like no matter what you say about me, as long as I clapped your broad, I'm pretty much will always have the higher ground. And I feel like he was playing that role for a long time. You get what I'm saying? But I get it. The two greatest things niggas go to war for is women and money. So, Rihanna, if there is a woman that'll do it, I can't say Rihanna won't. And I heard the same thing.
I might scrap over Rihanna. I don't know.
Exactly. But I get it. Like, Drake at the time, 2020, couldn't lose. ASAP was that nigga, but Drake was that nigga too. So to have, like, you mingling with this lady, and to have this nigga kind of go on stage and maybe uproot everything that your whole event. Because they would have went nuts as soon as he got on the stage, So I can see there'll be a little hate in there. But if that's the case, that's some sucker shit on Rocky. Because to me, like, can't no nigga stop the flow. You know what I'm saying? Let God up on that stage. I'm still me. You feel me? So I just feel like,
if that came from Drake's camp, I don't believe that happened. Like, why would you invite him to Yams Day and not let him perform?
That's the weird
that
shit.
Doesn't make sense.
You don't invite Drake anywhere and not allow him access to the stage. Like, that's just hustling backwards, okay? You know what I mean?
Knowing he gonna steal his show. And that's what I'm saying. Maybe that could have been but that I don't get that from Rocky. Rocky don't give me the feeling like he a hating nigga when it comes to the ladies.
But he is a Harlem nigga.
This is true. All them niggas do be wildin'. I love y'all
Do
niggas, but
strange
y'all be out of
things.
line.
He probably was stunting with Rihanna on his arm, like I got it, like regular man type mess. You know what I mean? Like
So to
I
have
got,
to have her ex go up on
but-
stage and turn the fucking spot inside out at your event, while she's on your arm, I look a little,
I don't know.
look a little shaky.
Weird
Look a little shaky.
vibes.
Yo, the chat comparing this whole situation to Doug, and they saying Rihanna's patty mayonnaise. Y'all tripping in the chat, man. Yo.
What's the other nigga
So wait,
name?
so if
Doug-
if Drake is Doug, is ASAP the green dude with the leather?
That's what I'm saying. What's his name again, bro? I forgot my son name.
Y'all
We
tripping.
taking it back.
Y'all tripping. Sincere, I really don't got nothing to add, son. You got anything to add to this? Because I don't. This ain't rap. This is a lover's quarrel on wax.
I mean, ASAP saying the quiet thing out loud. That's the shit. A lot of us has been saying for years, but nobody in the industry or in those circles would actually articulate. And he finally put words to it. Yeah, Drake moves like a woman, like a scorned woman at that. Yeah. And like I'm looking at the timeline now, 2016 is when that whole what stage was that on?
I think it's VMA.
The VMAs, MTV VMAs.
When she shoulder rolled him when he was going for the kiss.
Yeah,
gave him the Floyd. You know what I mean?
That would absolutely, that makes sense. That's a villain origin story right there. And so for the past 10 years, we've seen Drake devolve into like what we see today. It all adds up. But yeah, I mean, I've been saying Drake moves like a woman for like a long ass time. So like, this is not a shock to me. I'm glad somebody in those circles said it.
Oh, listen, OVO Mace, your man getting called a lady. He's not a man. He's really a lady. You know what I mean? Remember that one? He looks like a man. You know what I mean? But he's really a lady. Shout out 38 Special. That's one of my favorite situations ever recorded. This is hilarious. But we gonna move on. Last thing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. Shout out to the chat. They were saying it was Roger, ASAP Roger, Marty McFly. ASAP definitely is Roger aesthetic when you think about it. You know what I mean? That makes sense. And Drake would be Doug. It makes sense. The more I think about it, but I digress. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the hype, do all the necessary things, keep us in the algorithm. Follow us on Instagram. Lock in on all things Rap Roundtable. Our IG profiles is pinned on the chat. So make sure that you subscribe or follow us on IG. Before we get about what happened?
I was gonna say, Rita, you right. Women shouldn't have to catch strays. He was acting like Drake the whole time. He wasn't acting like a woman. He was acting like Drake.
Yeah, Rita ain't say nothing in the chat the whole night, but as soon as that happened, here she comes.
Smoke.
It's not how is that a stray though? It's not a stray.
It's like when you say
you're not saying he's a girl.
You say fight like a girl, and the girls go, "What you mean you fight like a girl?"
Listen, when women don't want to be associated with Drake, that's a problem. That was his whole demographic.
A whole new world. Shout out
Last but not least,
don't put him on us. No. Keep him over there.
Damn. Nah. When y'all go to them concerts, throwing y'all bros on the stage, y'all keep it Aubrey. He's yours. Last but not least, Rock Marcy dropped the album that had a lot of people talking over the weekend. He also threw some tweets out there that had a lot of people talking over the weekend. 656 dropped. Rock Marcy on deck. A real New York album for a real New Yorker. Sincere the Rap Snob, what are your thoughts on 656 from Rock Marcy himself?
Listen, man, it's been shit. We're in 2026. It's been a good over 15 years since Mockberg dropped, and since Rock Marciani just put the underground, flipped it on its ear and said, I'm driving this car now, man. This is my ship now. I'm taking this over, and he hasn't let up since. There's been a lot of I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to call them children, but there's been a lot of a lot of movements, a lot of artists that have come up out of that Rock Marciani umbrella. And it's all, it's all music that we love, whether it be Ka, whether it be, Knowledge the Pirate, whether it be, the whole Griselda movement, So salute to Rock Marciano for birthing this entire lane and this entire movement, right? As far as this album itself, this project itself, it's a worthy addition to the catalog. It's Rock Marcy at what he does best. It's self-produced. He came up making a lot of his own beats and looping a lot of his own production and just rhyming the fly shit that he does over it. And this is in that same vein, in that same exact mold, and he doesn't disappoint. Whenever he does this, it does not disappoint. He knows how to. I'm always going to appreciate the crate digging aspect of beat making. He always knows how to, his crates must run super deep, pause if applicable. But he knows, when he hears something, I know that moment when he hears something, it's like, oh, nah, this is a beat right here. You know what I mean? It could be something, it could be 4 bars, it could be 2 bars, it could be just 1 bar. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, he'll pick the flyest part of a vinyl to flip. You still hear the crackling of the vinyl. He doesn't overproduce things. He doesn't make it, overly shiny or overly lush. Like, he likes to keep it gritty and keep that essence to it. And that style of production is evident throughout this entire project. And for me, if it's your thing, like it's my thing, it doesn't disappoint. It never disappoints. Onto his rhyming, he's always rhyming, in a very unorthodox sort of fashion. Again, if it's not your cup of tea, I get it. Rock Marcy can be like an acquired taste. Something I said the other day was if you weren't there for Mockberg in 2010 when it dropped, and see the ascension and see the evolution of Rock Marcy to today, you probably wouldn't get it. Because like from Mockberg to now, there's been an evolution. If you jump into Rock Marcy now, you might be like, yo, what's this? But if you see the evolution from Mockberg to now, you're like, oh, okay, I see the whole vision. And so like his style of rhyming, like the way he just finds pockets in the beat that normally you wouldn't think are there. No other rapper would find them. No other rapper would even hear them. But he finds these pockets to rhyme in, and it just says some of the flyest shit you ever heard in your life. Again, no disrespect to Westside Gun, but like when you hear Westside Gun saying some random fly shit, that's Rock Marcy's blueprint. You know what I mean? Just dropping some random fly gems in the middle of the record just to talk his shit, that's what we get with this record, just like we usually do when he gets in this bag. Some of my favorites, the opener, Trick Bag, fire, Childish Things, fire, Prince and Apollonia, oh my God. The beat to that, chef's kiss, the soft strings, and just the whole scenery he sets with that is crazy. Rain Dance, Good For You, Mellow the closer, where he says, so much clout you're chasing. What was it he said? I don't know how you still out of shape when you chase so much clout. You know what I mean? So much clout you chase, how you still out of shape. Like that's, to me, is one of the illest bars. Like that's already like top bar of 2026 for me, man. So yeah, man, I'm always happy when Rock Marcy drops right up my lane.
That niggas ain't shit.
I'll swing it over to you. Well, what else?
Nah, John, got me on 10 right now.
Dude, chill, bro.
I'm chilling. I'm just enjoying the vibe. 10 proceed.
Yeah, no, I'm done. Kicking it over to you, Dean.
All right, man. I can't. Let's get to the good things in the bad things. Shout out to Rock Marcy. My thing is this. I like a certain sound aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Rock Marcy is for like the minimalist, and I say that in a good way, not minimalist as in you're Like he's taking away prime aspects of hot shit. He's giving you a dope loop. I personally like a little more than just the loop on the record, unless the loop is like out of this world. Lyrically, can't say much negative about the dude. In terms of rapping, like he's pretty solid. You get what I'm saying? Lyrically, the sharp wit, the punchlines, the bravado, all there, bro. But I just realized, I just think he's just not my taste, bro. You know what I'm saying? You ever had like a great meal, but you just feel like, yo, like this is a great meal in every way. It tastes great. I know it's good for me. You know what I'm saying? I know it's providing nutritional value, but it's not calling me like how another meal is calling me. You get what I'm saying? Great rapper, great drink. Like, let's get to the album. Trick Bag, I like Trick Bag a lot. Childish Things, dope. Prince and Apollonia, the Vanity combination back to back and then the Rain Dance, the Errol Holden nigga, shout out to him. Really brought the album to life for me. Like in those moments when where rock gives you that monotone flow. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the monotone rap. Shout out to Boldy James. If you rap with the same flow and cadence all the time, it kind of throws me off a little bit. This is just me though. You get what I'm saying? If you're a Rock Marcy fan and you love him, like I haven't really like gravitated to a Rock Marcy album really since Marcyology. That's the last one that had me like, nah, this nigga's different. Like I always listen to him rap and I say lyrically he's sharp, but it just doesn't. You know what to think about? Think of the greatest cinnamon bun you ever had with no frosting. That's the best way for me to describe it. like nah, and I say that's what that's what Griselda did. They came through and put the frosting on it. Pause.
Yo, pause.
Hey, yo. What? You said he glazed the... Hey, what?
Frostless buns is crazy, boy. What?
Yo!
Oh, my God. Nah, you mute again.
Yo,
Dean, you mute again. Hold on. We need a second. We need a minute. Time out.
Man. When you said it got thick, man, I didn't say nothing, bro. I was quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Cannot say this man glazed the honey buns, bro. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Milk and cereal, something that enhances the quality of something. Like I just feel like that's what Griselda did.
You saying it's dry cereal?
It's pancakes. It's pancakes without syrup. Right.
Say that. Say that. Much better. Say that.
But the syrup and the butter just make it a different kind of breakfast, my nigga. Like he's dog nice, but he just don't make me want to listen to him. Like, you get what I'm saying? Other niggas just mad. Like, I don't want to put him on my list of the nicest niggas I don't want to listen to. I have a long list of the nicest niggas that I just don't want to listen to. Like, where you can't complain nothing about the skill level, the quality of the artist. It's just, I just don't see it like that. You get what I'm saying? He's dog. I can't say he's not. The
chat is going wild right now.
Yo, bro, it was out of line. But do you understand just what I'm saying? It just don't.
I do.
No, we understood right away.
He don't appeal to me the way I think he appeals to a Sin. I wasn't there for the first joint in 2010. Maybe Sin is right where you have to like be there to go on the journey. But I just feel like he's dog nice. The lyricism is there. Shout out to him making his own beats. To be honest, I haven't heard better beats than he made than the joints he made for Stove. Like all the shit on Reasonable Drought, I haven't got like that kind of production from him on his own shit. You get what I'm saying? Like the production on Reasonable Drought is press play, back to back to back fire. It just, nice, but it just don't do it for me. You get what I'm saying? I've been to the dude's shows. I've seen him perform live, exceptional performer. Just not my type of rapper. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Pancakes without syrup.
10 applicable.
Cinnamon buns without the frosting.
But
then
man,
without the cinnamon, group of guys
without the frosting, whatever.
You're a diabolical take giver. That honestly, as much as we kill Sin for things he says, you might have just joined the Paul's Hall of Fame. Like
I didn't say you said glazing buns. I said cinnamon buns without the frosting, bro.
It's
like I didn't say anything about glazing buns.
Like to me, that's right above the Nas sharpen and knob shit that Sin said that one time. That is right there,
Classic.
bro.
Classic.
I can't be on time with Sin.
See,
That's
the thing is, I'm a volume shooter, but when it comes to the highlights, man, Dean,
that was rough.
But
that's how I feel about the bars. Kind of the same way I feel about Boldy James. Where I'm like, he's nice, rap wise, he's solid, he's tough. Like you can't say nothing bad about him as an artist. He just don't. It just don't captivate me. You get what I'm saying?
Deanie is Derek Fisher when them shots is big shots every time.
Hey, 0.4 seconds. 0.4 seconds, bro.
You know what I mean? But I kind of agree with Dean. Like, I want to make it clear, like, lyrically, one of the sharpest. Like witty, the lines are sharp, but the best way I could say this is my favorite rappers that are active rapping, not Jay-Z, but the guys that I look for albums for that I'm following their careers, Schoolboy Q and Pusha T. So you already know if that's the kind of artist that I'm gravitating towards, then Rock Marcy's not for me. And on my scale of not for me, sometimes his albums land and it's like, oh, I like this. You know what I mean? Like, this is hard. But there's other times where it's like, it's boring. You know? It's like, if that's the case, then don't play no beats because you're not in pocket. The beats are kind of meh.
He is. Hold on. He is in pocket. You just don't hear the pocket. You don't hear the pocket.
Sorry, which goes back to it's not for me.
It's unorthodox.
If you East Coast G Herbo, I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Shit.
But that's not a critique of him. That's not a critique of him personally. What I'm saying is highly lyrical. Sometimes, depending on what mood he's in and what pocket he wants to rhyme in, I can get with it. But on this particular project, it wasn't for me. I'm not here to critique, bro. I'm not here to kick his back in. I'm just saying this project, not for me. That's it. I ain't got no more to add. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't an enjoyable listen. I'm not going back to it. I'm not gonna come on this pod and lie y'all and say it's gas because I want y'all I want to agree with y'all and be like, oh, Job gets it. No, I'm gonna be truthful. I'm not a fan of this shit. I'm sorry.
Everybody can't have an elevated palate like I do. I'm sorry.
Shit.
I mean, it's cool. Listen, if you like fermented eggs and shit, nigga,
it's fermented eggs.
I'll eat fried chicken and enjoy it every time. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Leave me alone, son.
Yo.
Oh man.
Hey, let's get to these super chats. We've been on here 2 hours. God damn it.
Good time, man.
Oh yeah. The homie Zig, aka Rasta Miyagi King, says down with Cole since Vilmatic. Diehard Cole fans are deflecting. Still, he don't want to address Kenny and Drake. First thing out their mouths. Can't be saying they don't want no smoke with me. I'm one of them ones. Big fucker. Exactly. Thank you, Zig.
Zig, salute.
It's too easy with a $10 holler. Says, let's not forget J. Cole dissed and disrespected the F out of No Name, a woman by the way, for telling him he needs to read more and broaden his views because he's very surface level and not actually deep, just preachy. Woof. Woof. I forgot about that. I forgot about
that too.
Then we had TB 3632, fellow Capricorn. Hey, faves. Hope you all are safe in this winter storm. We were listening. I'm going to always defend the indefensible when it comes to my faves, Nas and Dot. Now, unpopular takes. Cole cannot out-rap Wale, and J. Cole is redeemable if his album sounds fire. All right, 50-50.
You got a good heart, TB.
Salute to TB.
He had a bit of a glitch on the super chat, so this came through twice. So I was like, we send it back. But then she responded by saying, it's all good, my guys. A happy new year. Give love to TV, show love. With the views, the fiscals, we appreciate it. Jeremy Cole, who's trying to get at us on Twitter, but that's the type of shit I like. You know what I'm saying? He says in high school 2008, never heard the gym version. Cudi was all over. I'm on the West Coast though, so who knows? Beat that made it sound like New York is all that matters. That's what he went wrong. Listening to Beat That,
Beat That was one of the guys we wouldn't talk to in 2008.
At all. You might bump into him somewhere pretty soon. The table. Follow the leader with a $5 love. Follow the holler for the love.
Salute,
next super chat. Follow leader spun back with another $10. Says what Cole should have did was do the show and put a statement out like, yo, I got cold window. Where y'all taking it? I don't want to take it. They handle that with Drake first, and then we can run our fade. I like that too.
Yeah,
that would have worked.
Shows he's not completely buns.
Aaron Bryant spun the block says, great show tonight. Keep doing your thing. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Aaron Bryant.
Love, brother.
Jeremy Cole says, make sure you right about the New York co-sign in 2000. I was looking at it through today's eyes. Great point. My bad to whoever I was arguing with on X. Me, nigga.
Accountability, though. You gotta respect the accountability.
You the realest J. Cole.
Shout out to you,
Jeremy.
Cole, man.
That's why I rock with Jeremy Cole. Like anybody who we could argue, we could disagree, we keep it respectful. Ain't no name calling. We just see it different. I could rock with that. You know what I mean? It be the name callers.
J. Cole tag us immediately as soon as something pop up.
Facts. The name calling and the passive aggressive MFers, I can't deal with them. BL45 says Day and Night was on the HBO show Entourage. Yes, it was. That's a fact. Yep. Shout out again. Kid Cudi was not made by Jim Jones. He helped play a role. He's part of Kid Cudi's story, but he wasn't the story.
Right.
KPS91 says Jim helped Cudi career as much as Nick Young helped the Warriors win the chip. See, now you're being disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Nick Young was nice in that game 7.
Nick played.
Jermaine L. Johnson, another Super Chat MVP, says the momentum and NYC presence of Day and Night helped Cudi land a starring role in HBO's New York City-based series How to Make It in America, which aired in 2010. Cudi played a well-connected New Yorker. These are all facts. It's all relative. It's all relative. And that's our last super for the night. You know, everybody through the paper. We appreciate y'all. You know, South Phoenix with a good comment here says y'all need to dig into Cole more. We're not digging into no man. Man more.
Lex.
You fake as a BBL. It's crazy.
Crazy. We ain't doing all of that. We just like the raps. That's all that is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But this was a fun stream. Shout out to everybody who ran the marathon with us. Again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe option, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram. Tap into all things Rap Roundtable. At the end of the stream, make sure you swipe and hype. Lock in the Rap Roundtable. We'll see y'all soon. If the news breaks, I know we're going to pull up. Also, quick announcement. A couple of us, we don't know what combination yet, but we're supposed to be looking up a Glasses Malone this week, maybe Wednesday. So look out for us on Glasses Podcast, No Ceilings Lunch Hour this Wednesday. I don't know which combination of the four of us is going to be there, but somebody from the Rap Roundtable will be looking up at Glasses.
Shout out to G Malone.
Take us home, bro.
We need each and every one of you amazing good folks who's here right now and who's catching it back on the replay. Hit the like button. You already know what it is. Go back at the end of the video, hit the swipe and the hype. We're on every social media platform. You know what it is, man. Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. YouTube, Facebook. Fuck with the team. Jarvie, Sincere, Macito. I'm Dean the Balance with our powers combined. It's the Rap Roundtable. You dig? Monday Night Raw. Fuck with it or get left in the ditters. You niggas is washed.